So we're in Brazil here, and as you can see, lining up on the grid P14, not because I qualified there, but because I disconnected in a wet, rainy qualifying session where I had the second row of the grid. I disconnected, so lining up there with it all to do, lights out, and away we go. And I get a better start than Zara. I'm hoping for incidents ahead in turn one. That is exactly what happens. A car is sideways and I go up the inside of two further cars. We're up to P10 here. One of the best first laps I've ever driven, really, in league. In fact, probably the best here. As down the Retta Aposta we go, and I'm going up the inside of my teammate Stay at the Desquida de Lago, and he goes wide, puts a wheel on the tarmac, and I'm up to P9, and that makes it P7 as two cars are on the grass. What are they doing this opening lap? Incredible scenes there as Metius and Alessio try to go side by side out of Pinheiro to turn 9 here in Brazil. I get a better run. I'm going up the inside. I'm being aggressive here. I've got nothing to lose at this point, and I get a better exit there up to P6. An excellent opening lap, making up more than half the positions from where I started on the grid. Now lap 3, I get a better run than Metius going out of the CNRS and going down the back straight, the Retta Aposta. Metius makes quite a late defensive move, but very fair. I'm around the outside and he squeezed me out, and more time lost to the leaders in a race where I felt very quick. But lap 6, 3 laps later, around this fast turn, and he makes a mistake. He locks up into turn 8. And I get him, and as you can see now, lap 15. The cars ahead of me, 3 of them, are on a 2-stop strategy. They've pitted, so it leaves me and Womax, and at this point I've got nothing to lose. I'm doing exactly what Womax does, and it's lap 16 now. The gap to F1 Alonso, who has made a pit stop already, has decreased, and it's time to come in. Lap 17, I emerge out P6, so ahead of Metius, and Womax is stuck behind Ben. I'm hoping Ben can hold him up, and that is exactly what happens. The gap goes from 5 seconds before we pitted to 2.4 seconds. Now lap 23, I'm still behind Womax, setting very similar lap times, but what is this? Suddenly, it looks like he goes off at turn 1, 2, and 3, the CNRS corner, and suddenly I'm up to P4. So all of a sudden at this point, after a quiet and consistent race, following a poor qualifying session, I'm only 10 seconds behind the podium position that Ricardo holds. What a great race this is turning out to be for me. And lap 27, sure enough, Ricardo pits for his second stop, and I'm sure he's going on to option tyres now, sprinting to the end, and I inherit his P3. And Ricardo comes up behind Womax. I hope Womax can hold him up, but not for much longer. Lap 30, as I go through the Sector 1 split, Ricardo is past, and there's a 4-second buffer from me to him. And unfortunately, I couldn't hold on. Lap 33, 34, down the pit straight we go, the long pit straight. Ricardo has DRS and slipstream, and with the help of fresh option tyres against my 17-lap old prime tyres, and he dashes past me, and I get a poor run out of the CNRS, and he is 3, 4, 5 car lengths in front of me, and that is the podium chance over, unfortunately. So lap 36, as you can see, I actually kept up with him to a decent extent. Only 2.2 seconds between me and him in the last 3 laps. So actually my prime tyres, although they were quite slow at the first part of the stint, at the end they proved to be quite fast actually. As I set my personal best lap time of 1:13.7 on the last lap of the race. And as you can see from the standings, the gap from me to Ricardo is 2.2 seconds. So I reckon if I started on the second row of the grid, I would have avoided that traffic, and I would have gained probably about 5 seconds, and that could have been the difference between 4th and 3rd place. So disappointed but proud of my recovery drive in P14.